We are coming to you live from Kisumu County, right on time for the Western Spectrum, a program that brings you issues that affect people from this part of the country and, of course, to a large extent, the entire country. Today, we are privileged to have the County Commissioner of Kisumu County, Mr. Ramadan Mohammed Mwaboza, who is barely here 2 months. And, of course, he came in, dived deep into so many issues that are actually happening here in Kisumu County. And he says he's up to task to ensure that indeed things are on the straight and narrow route that is expected, of course, within the law. Karibu sana, Bwana County Commissioner.
Thank you.
Just 2 months into it, and I mean, there's quite a lot to take care of.
Thank you very much. My name is Mohammed Ramadan Mwaboza. I am the County Commissioner here in Kisumu. Barely 2 months, as you've mentioned it. But as soon as I got here, I realized that there was a serious challenge as far as security is concerned. That to get my team up and running, we came up with a number of measures on how to deal with the runaway crime taking place all over, that is inclusive of the CBD, which was a serious threat to business and investment as a whole. So what I strongly believe that in security, we look at prevention, we look at partnership, and we look at rapid response. And we began with a rapid response to pacify the town, the city, and then we went out of our way to bring on board all other security agencies and other key stakeholders in this county, including the county government, the business community, inclusive of the judiciary as well, because we needed to chart a way forward in order to enhance or bring back the glory of this city, as it is always known for. It's a clean city, and we wanted also to make it very secure. Kisumu is a city of potential. It's a unique city. You can only compare it to Mombasa, because these are the only two cities with big water bodies, and normally they attract a lot of tourism. In most cases, you would find even in the flights, they're full of tourists coming to this destination and many other activities taking place this area. So we had to restore the lost glory, and so far so good. We've had a number of public engagement where we agreed with the partners to provide sufficient security, a number of political rallies, and other events taking place in the CBD, especially those ones involving youth, like the borders election, the tuk-tuk elections, and then the last of it all is just concluded the ASK show. So we've had a very peaceful time, very secure, and I'm sure the visitors did enjoy their stay here. It was a show which was well attended, and there was not a single incident reported from the ASK show.
And of course, you're saying that some of the issues that are actually on the table for you was security. You've actually mentioned CBD. Looking at the bigger picture, what are some of these hotspots that are actually in this county that you felt that were actually needed to be addressed as fast as possible?
One of the hotspots in this city was the bus park. And we had to organize some intelligence-led raids where we were able to pick quite a number of young men between the age of 15 to 25 there who were posing as touts, yet there were so many reported cases of phone snatching, robberies, and the kind of disorderliness that we would find in a stage, and we had to restore order. The others is the areas where the street families are. We also manage that area. So we have 24-hour round security patrols in both uniform and plain cloth, and that one has restored order, security in this town. We have noticed now people or traders can close their businesses very late in the evening, and like in the past where a majority of them would close as early as 7 or even before 7 because they were scared of their way back home and the security of their goods and product in the market. So we have restored that. We've now extended the same to the estates. We have a very clear arrangement on intelligent-led strikes where we were able to flush out close to like 100 of those criminals, and they've been arraigned in court. Some have been charged and some have been remanded as we continue with the investigation, because the wave was quite big and we needed to find a lasting solution. We are not really targeting the youth as though they are not adding any value to this society. In fact, we have, among those arrested, listened to them, understood them, and advised them as well. So we are not the enemies of the youth in this county or in this city. We want them to get more organized, and we are open for discussion in whatever they want to do in order to participate actively in income-generating activities.
Yes. You have talked about the bus park, and there was a major concern about estates, and we can highlight a number of estates that people felt, and especially residents felt, that were very insecure. And you can talk about Lolwe, parts of Lolwe, you can talk of parts of Migosi, and even Manyata, right? But also of concern was Milimani Estate, where we actually domiciled as we speak. And the fact that youth could actually be riding on motorbikes and you are casually walking in the estate, and from nowhere your phone is gone or someone is actually attacking you. And those videos were awash on social media. What are some of these measures that have actually been put in place? Because you have talked about intelligence-led interventions, but still people want to know, apart from just intelligence, are we seeing major patrols in some of these estates, and long-term solutions in terms of ensuring that indeed we bring to book some of the people involved in this? In the past, we have seen actually interventions coming up, but shortly after they fizzle out. Are we likely to see long-term solutions in terms of ensuring that indeed some of these issues are brought to an end for good?
Thank you very much for your question. What I would say is that, so as I'd said earlier on, security is about partnership and rapid response. There's no way we can be in a city, yet we want to manage like a village. That is close to impossible. We have to agree on putting up the correct measures and framework that would guarantee us a lasting solution and a secure environment. Milimani was in one area which was considered to be the safest because it's a rich neighborhood, but unfortunately it had degenerated to become one of the hideout for the criminals. And mostly it was the border. In our intelligence, we discovered that there were around 3 borders which were involved in that habit. So far, 2 of them already down. We are only left with 1, which we are also tracing it. Like I had said earlier, our intelligence is top-notch, and there's no one who can escape. We discovered there were like 3 motorbikes riding, and 3 or ridden by around 2 or 3 men. And we had to track them down using our teams, specialized teams. We got 2 of them. And they were arraigned, is among those who were arraigned in court, and those motorbikes were equally confiscated. They are in various police stations, but we're also looking for the other one. And since then, we've not had any other incident happening in Kilimani. Additionally, we have encouraged the residents there to enhance security lighting, as well as the county government, which has also promised to improve on the street lighting in the estates. We are also looking forward to engaging the private security, because most of the homes in Milimani are taken care of by securities, and the owners may not necessarily be there. So we felt like by engaging these security firms, we'll be able to come up with proper measures on how we can partner with the private security to enhance response time in case of any emergency or any distress call. In the other estates, we are equally working with the county government to reinstall the security lights, which in most parts of those estates are dead. The governor had promised that would do that in by mid next month. That would be done. But already we have 24-hour patrols, both by foot patrol and vehicles, and from the respective police stations and police posts and other agencies like the DCI. So we are ensuring that, particularly during the peak hours, early in the morning and early in the evening, when people are now moving back and forth from the places of work and going home, that's where we have enhanced security. And that's why you've not heard of many incidents reported, because most of these incidents were reported at that particular time. We have discovered that some of the criminals have changed the tactics. They are attacking homesteads now, late at night, but in just a few areas, particularly isolated homes. And that one also will be taken care of, because we are working on how we can find these criminals during the day. Because the criminals normally don't work during the day. They work at night, and they sleep during the day. So we are working closely with the Nyumba Kumis, with the community policing, and we're also urging members of the public to report any peculiar habit in their neighborhood, in case they homestead where there are like 10, 15 men sleeping together, leaving their homes only at night, coming back early in the morning. They should report to the National Administration Officer, that is the chief, the assistant chiefs, and the DCCs, as well as the nearest police station. They can also come to us, the County Security Committee, and that area will be taken care of.
Before we conclude on security issues and then move also to something that is closely related to security, the last question I would ask on that bit is about the complaints by members of the public. That yes, we have rolled out a number of security agents to actually patrol some of these streets and ensure that there's sanity. But some are actually taking advantage of that and extorting money from members of the public. I have received complaints from a number of motorbike riders who say that at night you are apprehended and you are told plaincloth officers, right? And within a short time you are told 12 kumi, ama 12 tan. If not, then you're taken in. How are we addressing some of these gaps so then we ensure that indeed, yes, as our officers go out there, they're actually going to do a good job and not use that opportunity as an extortion ring?
Basically, what we are doing is talking to the officers almost on weekly basis, encouraging them to serve members of the public and not to extort money from them. We are here to provide security. I know it is not strange to find 1, 2, 3, 4 rogue officers who may have sinister motives during patrols, but we're looking at the bigger picture where we have very many diligent officers who will go out of their way to patrol throughout the night in the cold and in order to ensure that people are safe. But nevertheless, these officers may be, if at all they are very common and they're known, we would encourage members of the public to report to us, that is particularly members of the County Security Committee. Don't report to any other person. If you find any officer who is notoriously known for extorting money from members of the public, we encourage them to, they can even send a text, even an anonymous text. We will do the investigation, and once we find that officer capable, then we'll take action against them. So we're encouraging members of the public to partner with the security agencies and report all incidences, whether where my officers, like the chiefs, the chiefs, or the DCs, the SCCs are involved, or it's a police officer who is involved, or it's any other person involved in criminal activities. We are governed by the rule of law, and it has to be respected by all. Normally, we say that us, the government agencies, we sign that code of conduct, and we must adhere to it. I'm here in this office. I've not had anyone complaining that I've extorted money from them, and I've not died, neither am I poor. Yes. So I believe doing the right thing is highly rewarding, and therefore we should work together. Let us partner. Yes, let us partner in this.
Good. We'll be coming right after this break to discuss your bold statement, the first bold statement that you made when you came to Kisumu County, and that was that there'd be no goons in political rallies. We'll discuss that further just right after the break. We take you back to Broadcasting House to pay our bills, and then when we come back, of course, we continue our conversation with Mohamed Ramadan Mabuzo, the County Commissioner of Kisumu County. Well, thank you very much, and welcome back. Of course, we're continuing this conversation with the Kisumu County Commissioner, Mr. Ramadan Mohamed Mabuza, who is actually delving deep into matters security, Goonism, and of course politics and the general development, government development agenda in the great county of Kisumu. And just before we went for a break, I promised that we are going to discuss the big statement that he made just after he came to Kisumu County. And Mr. Mabuza, one of the statements that you made after that meeting with members of the political class in this county was that there'll be no goons in political rallies. How is it going?
So far, so good. Because criminality disguised as political activism will not be tolerated. We want a different version of politics. We had an engagement with the political leaders, particularly the members of the National Assembly, and discussed about how to go forward, how to move forward with the meetings. And so far we've had almost around 3 or 4 political gatherings organized by different leaders where we provided enough security, and there was no goonism at all. There were no goons involved in the security arrangement. And that is the way to go, because this government has enough security officers, and we're here to protect life and property. The idea of political goonism has been a big threat to life. In most cases, we've seen people dying during those political functions and other political gatherings. So in order to avoid that, we've decided that we must arrange for that security and provide it. We should be informed early enough. We've talked to the members of parliament and or even the aspirants. Wherever you want to organize a meeting, liaise with the OCS. In case it's a big rally, the sub-county security committee will meet and look at the details and see how the deployment will be done where necessary. And it's a big activity. They will draw an operation order where members of the public will equally know the kind of arrangement we have put in place. And this one will guarantee a safety of the political activists and members of the public and the business community. We are not going to tolerate, and I repeat, and I also want to say that the president himself made a pronunciation that security agencies and the national administration to deal with this vice. And that's we are up to the task, and we will ensure that that culture is dead. Wherever.
Yes. When on that Sunday, arrow and bow wielding youth brazenly walking, attempting to storm into a church. What picture did it paint for you?
It was a very bad picture because I would admit we got very late intelligence because we thought it was simply a church service. The leaders were going to the church. We didn't even know that there was a fundraising, and there are many other leaders coming from across. And that's why we've always intended to inform the leaders that whenever you're coming for any public function, let us know. We're not your enemies. We're here to provide security. So it was a bad picture, and we do not want to see a repeat of that. And that's why we took very swift action. We had to deploy. In fact, were not it for the deployment that was swiftly done, would have lost many lives. Because these people were armed to the teeth. But the message they got is very strong. And moving forward, I don't think we'll have a similar ugly incidences taking place.
Of concern is the fact these youths are usually paid, mobilized and paid not far away from where your office is. And that is supposed to be a public park. And you have actually pronounced yourself on that matter before and said that that park must serve the purpose that it was meant for. And mobilization of youth and guns was not part of the reason as to why it was actually created.
The parks were designed to provide relaxation for the majority of Kenyans who cannot afford maybe to go to most luxurious places, and they come with families and enjoy. And that's why we agreed with the county government to deploy one county enforcement officers, and additionally we will always have a standby team which can immediately respond in case there is any unusual gathering that's taking place in those parks. Because we do not want to allow people to have informal gathering that could be very catastrophic in the city. So we are taking care of all the parks. The county will deploy, and we have a rapid response team which can take charge immediately in less than 5 minutes. We'll respond and deal with the situation. So we are prepared.
I spoke to some members of the civil society, and their major concern was the fact that the availability of this youth, one, and then two, also the fact that people who constantly mobilize this youth and actually unleash mayhem on perceived political opponents are known. That it is easy to actually trace some of these resources. That in their study, they have done several studies in this county, and they're all leading to 1 or 2 or 3 people at most. And these people are known and are friends to the security teams in this county. How then do we ensure that, one, we nip in the bud some of these vices, but more importantly, those that have been adversely mentioned as the conveners and perpetrators of this violence, actually brought to book to some extent?
Friendship with the security agency is a very strong term.
Yes.
And I don't think there is that, because I have not befriended anyone personally.
Someone will argue that
despite the fact that I'm new, but I normally do not encourage that kind of friendships. And I would say that we are here to serve the public. We're not here to befriend people who cause damage to the society in any way. And that's why I've personally talked to different leaders concerning these kind of people and their association. They may not be friends as such, because someone may just choose to be close to that person in order for the cameras to public perception, but not necessarily a friend as such. But well, I totally agree with you that most of these people are well known, and some of them equally have some cases, live, whatever, active cases in court. So we are encouraging the civil society with the information they have. They can meet with us, the county security committee. They share the information they have. We combine it with what we already have, so that we can build a very strong case and make sure that these people are prosecuted. Because we are not here to dance to the tune of the thugs, because these are thugs. But we need the concrete evidence in order to be able to prosecute them. Yes.
We have chance also coming and saying that hawa watu wanakuja kwa hii town, msikubali. Si unajua vile tunapatana, such statements. And then two, in one of the most prominent funerals around Semi here, when there was a lot of chaos in that funeral, one of the leaders stood up and said, and accused one of the leaders that you keep buying youth and walking around with them in public functions. So basically, politicians are closely connected to this youth and in the acts that actually follow. Have we tried to bring to book some of these politicians? One, and then two, in that conversation when you had with the elected leaders in Kisumu County, did it also come up in terms of having a discussion with them in terms of ensuring that indeed they must let go?
Thank you very much. During our engagement with the political leaders, there was we reached an agreement where they are not going to engage the services of these leaders of the goons to hire the very innocent young men to disrupt each other's meeting. Equally, we agreed that none of them would bail them out once they're arrested, because that was one of the accusations. But as usual, no one would come out and say, "I do it." People will keep on accusing one another. Moving forward, we are looking at how we are going to monitor the activities of these particular mentioned individuals closely, in order to be able to pick up pieces and see whether whatever allegation is leveled against them is true, and that the case, then we see how the prosecution can be done.
Before we go to long-term solutions, the cry for most of this youth now is that we have been used and dumped by the political class, and some even say that those that actually well placed in government have actually used them, and now because the heat is on them, they've actually been dumped. How then do we ensure that yes, these youth have been on the wrong path before, but now we want to lead them on the right path in terms of long-term solutions to ensure that these youth are gainfully engaged and not readily available, so that then they can actually be hired for these acts?
I think the youth basically need to get organized, and they form groups, because I can easily arrange to meet the different groups and discuss some of these problems and probably the available solutions and opportunities which are there for the youth. But we cannot go around dealing with the individuals. Unfortunately, there is a big number of youth who are already immersed into drug abuse. And we are encouraging the national administration, particularly in the estates, to try and come up with an innovative way on how we can bring these youth together and they get rehabilitated, because most of these habits are unsustainable, because most of the youth do not earn any form of income, and they depend on the handouts. And whenever they are given these handouts, they go out drinking or buying these illicit drugs. I've had an opportunity to talk with some of the aspirants here, especially from the areas of Mamboleo, Kondele, and the like, Nyamasaria, and you would hear their kind of resentment they have on the youth, because they would really wish to mobilize them and assist them, maybe financially, to begin some income-generating project. But a majority of the youth would only request for money to buy drugs. That is very unfortunate. Because that's
in this part of the country, or is it something that has been entrenched for a very long time?
This is something which has been entrenched for a very long time. But we cannot sit back and watch, because these are our future generation, these are our future leaders. We must come up with innovative ideas on how we can rehabilitate them as fast as we can, because there are so many opportunities. Right now, there is work going on at the construction of the SGR terminus, there is work at the construction works in the affordable housing, and many other government engagement where big contracts have been given for the youth to work, but they cannot work when they are intoxicated. I've had cases to resolve cases with contractors where some youth were simply going there just to demand a share of the work, yet they do not have, they lack the skills, and they are not well organized enough to be able to offer any services. But they will demand some free money. There's no free money. Everyone must work in this country in one way or another. Either you are employed or you do business. Or you do it business as an individual, or you do business as a group. We need to partner with one another to at least generate income.
Into politics and, of course, not the politicking side, yes, but, of course, the effect the politics will actually have on general running of this county. And when I'm looking at that, I'm looking at the cross-border conflicts, the utterances and the general activities around common borders in Nandi County, Kericho County, and going towards KBC counties. How well are we prepared to ensure that indeed we are getting into political rich season, and some of these utterances are bound to come up, and we are likely to see some situations flaring up around our border points. How well are we prepared, and some of the border points that we've actually mapped out, because NCIC keeps mapping Kisumu County and, of course, neighboring counties as potential hotspots when we get into election. And, of course, it is usually at the border points. How well are we prepared in terms of ensuring that indeed we nip in the bud some of these activities that might actually raise tension across borders?
Some of the mechanism we have put in place is reactivating the peace committees. And in the peace committees, we have brought in the youth as well. We have a youth agenda in the peace committee, which, because most of the people normally involved in the skirmishes after the utterances are the youth. So we want to engage the youth in meaningful and gainful activities in a manner that they will not be free for any sort of political violences. And I want to say that politics should be able to enhance that collectivity. We should do the politics of ideas and solving problems, because we are highly educated in this country. We cannot continue fighting one another and imagining that by the end of it all we will be able to put ugali on the table. That one is not going to work. And in that, we therefore need to work very closely with all the leaders, the politicians, the administrators, and others, key stakeholders on the ground, because normally the utterance itself is not the problem, but how people react to that utterance is when bring about it. So if we are able to mitigate early enough, this kind of violences will not be seen. And on the security side also, we'll always have rapid response teams in those areas, which can always calm things, like exactly what happened during the church service at Milimani. That's exactly how we intend to look at it.
All the time. We have had this conversation before, of course not with you, but other leaders who say that this time round, such utterances will not be tolerated. And as we head into the election, from nowhere, people start going back to the barbaric ways of doing things. And we keep to turn our eyes on to the other side. This time round, are we likely to see the administration, or of course the government, taking stern action, so that then we can actually build on the gains that we've actually made in terms of ensuring that we sanitize the community to a level where there's tolerance?
Remember, already we've had meetings with different stakeholders, collectively and separately, with the register of the political parties, like in June. And those are the kind of issues we're discussing. We want to exercise political tolerance across the board. We want to have a very conducive environment where anyone intending to campaign would be allowed to go there, so long as you go peacefully and share ideas with the electorates. We have no problem, and we will, like I said, the absence of security in most of these gatherings has been the cause of this violence, because in the past we had allowed different political factions to move around with goons. That's the thing that we want to stop with immediate effect. because the role of police officers and the security agencies is to secure the environment where these activities are, so that you go there, talk to the people, tell them what we do for them, and that's all. And we want to have issue-based politics. The kind of incitement, rhetoric, abusing one another, it should stop. Because look at the level of enlightenment we have so far. We are highly regarded as one of the countries in Africa with a highly educated people and sophisticated people. But we keep on regenerating back to the cocoons of the past politics.
Great. The question on the security officers actually taking over and actually providing security in some of these functions keep coming back in terms of how well are we prepared as a police or a security agency in terms of providing security? Because just looking at face value, especially in Kisumu, for instance, about 6 police stations and patrol bases do not have even cars, do not even have vehicles for movement. 2, we have seen that when we have major political activities in this county, we are actually forced to borrow officers from neighboring counties. How then are we going to, handle the situation to juggle the two in terms of ensuring, one, there's a normal patrol and provision of security, but also there's a team that can actually now ensure that they take care of political gatherings or public gatherings, especially now when everything is gathering momentum and there are so many activities in the county.
This police station is not like they did not. It's not like they did not have. They did not have vehicles. They had vehicles, but they broke down, and some of them are going to the state of disrepair. Currently, the government, we have had a discussion with the PS, discussing about how we can enhance security, and arrangements have also been already been made to provide all the police stations and police posts with the security vehicles. And I'm sure that it will happen very soon, because truly speaking, we have only made arrangements to move one vehicle to another depending on the circumstances, and even sometimes, but all the DCCs are vehicles, so they normally release the vehicles to the police officer in the meantime to deal with the security situation. But I'm certainly sure by the time we get to that serious campaign, all these police stations and police posts will be have been fully equipped, and they'll be able to move around and about to secure the life and property of the country.
Almost up, Commissioner. There are a number of things that I'd want you to just touch on, summarize. One, the development agenda of the government in this county. Where are we at?
I think we are heading to the right direction. A lot has happened. So many projects have been implemented, inclusive of the road network. And I know there are key areas which must always take precedence in order for development to occur. That is education. Look at the education in our education institutions. The government is providing hostel facilities for almost all the students to reside in the colleges. And the road infrastructure, we have the ring road and many other roads which are under construction. And the urban improvement which is happening in Kisumu is taking shape, and therefore we are, and many other activities, especially the Nyota project, which would generate a livelihood for the youth, and many others. And I'm sure with that direction we're heading then. Additionally, you've already seen the launch of the Vision 3060. This country is heading in the right direction, so we only want to encourage all stakeholders in the cities to come on board and make the environment very conducive. Additionally, in this country, there's so many investors who have expressed interest to come and invest in this country. And that's why we're working day and night to enhance security in order to boost their morale and make it easy for them to invest so that they can create employment for
your agenda. When I came to this office the very first time I came to see you, one thing that you told me was that you want to ensure that, one, there's security, which you're actually working on, and also to end the issue of Goonism. What other things do you want to ensure that they're actually in the right order?
What I want to say is that this, as I said in my opening statement, that this is a very unique city, the county, which is a city and is a county with a body of water that has immense potential, and it has very strategic land within the CBD and its environment, which has a lot of potential. Personally, I've talked to quite a number of investors, especially the Asians, and they're looking at, if you are able to make this area, this place safe, secure, then we will even encourage more investors to come and invest here. And that one, the only sure bet where we can guarantee job opportunities for the young ones who are leaving college. Because we have so many colleges here which produce so many graduates on annual basis. And we have to create enough employment opportunities for them to engage. So I'm looking tomorrow for a secure city, a clean and secure city, a city rich in potential, a city where which can attract a lot of tourism. Like we have events coming, like I think next week we have the Dollar 7, which is coming from, I think, first and second, which would attract almost like 3,000 people. So we're encouraging other sports activities to be brought here, but this area is now very safe and people can enjoy their stay. Thank you.
Point to end on, the city is safe. He's working towards ensuring that it's safer and, of course, likable to investors and everyone else who wants to come to Kisumu County. And he insists that Kisumu is the place to be. And he wants you, the investor, the local mwananchi, and every other person who wants to come to Kisumu to come knowing that indeed they're going to a very good place. My name is Achola Simon. We were hosting the county commissioner of Kisumu County, Mr. Ramadan Mohamed Mabuzo, who was actually spelled out his ideas for this great county and what needs to be done, and of course a warning to those involved in criminal activities that indeed their time is up. I take you back to Broadcasting House for our normal broadcasting.